All right, Sideline Talk Pod episode 3. Nice little week 6 breakdown. We had a very eventful
Yo,
weekend, so
yo.
we're just simply gonna break it down from the sidelines. Raphael joined with Keyshawn Quill today, and then the new guy Calvin.
Calvin
I don't know,
Odom.
Calvin Odom. I don't know, he doesn't have his camera on. It's kind of well, the world will kind of be curious what
My
he looks like,
fault.
but we'll get into headlines over the hours presented by no one. So this morning we had seen Brian Callahan get fired, and how do we feel about that one? How do we feel about Brian Callahan finally getting removed from, of course, his play calling duties, being around that culture, and finally the team has some light in the tunnel.
Well, it was a long time coming. I mean, they should have never fired Vrabel to begin with. It's
Yeah.
not. I don't think it's necessarily. I don't think it was necessarily Vrabel's fault that said GM couldn't get the talent that he needed to be able to be more consistent in the playoffs because he was so reliant on Derrick Henry. Once they lost Derrick Henry, it's like they lost. It's like they didn't know how to revamp that. Which I get, but at the same time, that's what you get for not, developing the players that you're supposed to, and trading AJ Brown, which was one of your most valuable receivers. If you kept AJ Brown and you kept Derrick Henry, all you had to do was focus on the quarterback position, O line, and you would have been fine. So Callahan is doing the complete opposite of that. And not to mention the play calling is like so horrific. O line isn't where it needs to be, So
Yeah, no,
it was a long time coming.
I'm pretty sure when they saw Cam Ward get hit on that free rusher in the back of the end zone, I was kind of like, yeah, I think that was the firing point. Biggest one being 4-19, and I feel like the person we owe the biggest apology to would probably be Will Levis because everybody thought he would be so trash.
Mhm.
It is rumored that Kevin Stefanski is supposed to get fired sometime this week in Cleveland, so that could be a big eye on to look out. Fred Warner is out for the rest of the season with a torn ACL, MCL
You
tear.
said who?
Fred Warner. Fred Warner
Fred
from
Warner.
I thought it
San
was a
Francisco
dislocated.
49ers,
I thought it was
linebacker
a
over there.
dislocated ankle.
No,
Dislocated
it was
ankle,
Yeah.
MCLs tear, everything.
I thought,
You name it. Like his legs
yeah,
is
damn.
gone, bro. His legs gone.
yeah.
Whatever it is, it's
Yeah.
bad. So San Francisco, if this team makes the playoffs, if anybody deserves to win Coach of the Year, it'd be Kyle Shanahan. That's my biggest one. Not a lot of other super important headlines to mention. But the biggest one would be Brian Callahan, and yeah, they should have fired Mike Vrabel. Now, moving on to a different pace, week 1. Oh, sorry, week 6. My bad. So week 6 had kicked off this Thursday with a Titans beating Eagles and a pretty eventful game. But then we had our London game, 13-11 Broncos win. Where do we diagnose this? Where does everything start?
That was horrible. I
I
mean,
mean,
both
Eagles.
sides of the ball, it was kind of bad. I mean,
Yeah.
13 through 11. I mean, you really didn't get anywhere both sides.
13
So I
to
mean,
11.
there's not really no rocking down notes with that. I mean, Bo Nix did throw a touchdown, but I mean that was about it.
My
But
my
I
biggest
can
one
just
with
say,
does say my biggest one with Bo Nix is last week against Philly. He struggled pretty bad until like the fourth quarter, and everybody was always on no. It's Bo Nix. It's he's gonna struggle. Philly has a good defense, but Jackson Dart lights up the defense, puts up 34 points, and all of a sudden, and then going up against a very bad Jets defense, Bo Nix goes 19 for 30, 174 yards, and a touchdown. Is it a sophomore slump we're gonna call it, or is it more of like Bo Nix isn't as good as we think?
I guess you could say a sophomore slump.
I
Um,
wouldn't say that. I
I
mean,
mean they are
he
four and
started off
three.
slow last year too.
It might
It's
be.
week.
It might.
It's week
It
six.
could be.
It's week 6. It's the biggest one.
Yeah,
It's
It's
he
week
week 6.
started
six.
off slow
It could
last
be.
year.
It could be. It could be a mix of both things. It could be either him
Mhm.
starting off slow or him having a sophomore slump. Either way, there's something in his water that's messing him up. That's causing him to make unnecessary mental mistakes that he should have fixed coming into his second year. So if it is a sophomore slump, hopefully it doesn't become a thing to where it creates issues that winds up putting the Broncos in a position where they could potentially miss the playoffs. That's the hope that it doesn't happen. But if it does happen, then we all know where to point. It's the QB. So either the play
So
calling has to be better, to where as though he can get to his weapons easier, or he has to be better, to where as though those mistakes won't keep happening. Those mistakes can happen a little bit less and less. But for right now, because it's week 6, it's not because it's 18 games in the season. Because it's week 6, I won't say he's having a sophomore slump, but I won't.
You're a little bit on panic mode, a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but I'm definitely like concerned. at the same time. So it's
Yeah.
50-50 with me.
No, the biggest concern though probably goes for the Jets with Justin Fields going 9 for 17 for 45 yards,
Couldn't get that ball
2.6
out for
That's
yards
nothing.
per
that's terrible.
attempt. The biggest thing is you'd be like, okay, well, usually when he has those games, he has like 200 yards rushing, 7 for 31 on the ground. Not even that. Brees Hall isn't doing any favors as well, going 22 for 59. So in some ways, the Jets got to hit the panic mode and do something a little bit different. Now we had made our prediction, Cleveland beating the Pittsburgh Steelers last week, and we know how that ended up: 23-9 win by the Pittsburgh Steelers.
That was
The biggest one is Dylan
prediction,
Gabriel, 29 out of 52, 221. Looked very smart with the ball. He played very smart with the football. Sacked 6 times. There's where do we diagnose this? Are we gonna start pushing
I
the
mean,
Shador Sanders trade, or are we going to it makes sense?
no, bro. We
All
should
right,
definitely start pushing
so
the Shador Sanders agenda.
nah,
Like,
y'all
I
not
feel like
watching
he
that
could play
game.
better than him.
Nah, y'all not watching that game, bro.
Bro, he was throwing
First of all,
hospital balls all game, bro.
yeah, but you gotta think about it, bro. You're. It's not like it's. First of all, we already know that the Browns don't have an offensive line like that. Their offensive line really isn't top tier, and it's not like we're not gonna sit here and act as if because the Steelers defensively had a couple struggles here and there, the defensive line still isn't elite. You still have one of the best defensive linemen, edge rushers in the league, in T.J. Watt. At the end of the day, on top of the fact that you have a healthy,
Cam
Hayward,
Hayward.
and you have Highsmith on the other side.
Mhm.
So we're talking about
True.
that against a rookie in the offensive line with a mediocre offensive play caller. You're not throwing. He's a rookie, so we know that he's not audible and he's causing to 50. He threw the ball how many times?
52 times.
52 times.
52 times. So that means it was 52 pass plays that was called.
Yep.
And out of
You can't
52
win
times,
games
how many
like
times
that.
did he complete passes?
29
29.
of those 52. Over 50%.
And how many? Over 50%, right?
Over 50%.
So who
yeah.
are we blaming that on, the QB or the play caller?
I think it's
I mean,
the
I would
mix
blame it on both, bro. It's a
because
little bit of both. Yeah.
a little bit about because at the same time, Quinyon Junkins went 12 for 36, only taking 12 carries with your best runner. I wouldn't put the blame
Yo,
on
and
that.
another thing, it was
And that-
another.
I was gonna say not even
My
that.
fault.
Cleveland dealt with 10 drops throughout the game, so we're not gonna jump the gun.
Yeah, that's what I was about
put
to say.
everything bad on
So
Dylan Gabriel.
okay,
Yeah.
so we have 12 drops. We have 50
Yeah.
attempts off of how many completions again?
29.
Yeah,
29.
29 completions out of 52 attempts.
Okay, so we had 29 completed passes, which means 10 out of those completed passes were drops. 85% of calls were basically pass plays.
Correct.
So we have a rookie QB that didn't play bad but could be better for the second week in a row. But we also have an offensive play calling that called the ball 50 times. And who's calling that plays? Because it wasn't the OC. It's Stefanski.
And
And we wonder why he's
he's
on the
on
hot
the
seat.
hot seat to get fired, and not even that. He's expected to get It's rumored, but he could get fired by the end of this week. The biggest thing I will say though, defensively, I feel like Cleveland is a top 10 defense. And that's something that he's very,
Oh, yeah.
They are.
very
Hell
big
yeah.
one. But Aaron Rodgers going 21 for 30, 235, and 2 touchdowns. The biggest
Yeah.
one, Kenny Gainwell's a big impact, but DK Metcalf, ever since he has gotten to Pittsburgh, has played phenomenal. So I would say hats off to DK Metcalf. He's been a really big impact. But Dallas versus Carolina, there was a Bryce Young conversation 2 weeks ago. Everybody was panicking. He looked very bad. He looked very bad against New England, and then he looked very bad against Miami. But for him to come at home, play exceptional football, throw a couple touchdown passes, move the ball down the field like phenomenally. How do we feel about this game?
Bro, Bryce Young showed that he got potential. Everybody, like last year, I think his last 3 games, he was 3-0. He threw like 10 touchdowns. So like, I wouldn't really panic on Bryce Young. He definitely got potential. I think he could be a franchise quarterback.
No, he is
They
a
3-3
franchise.
right now.
He is a
He is
franchise.
a
Well,
franchise
yeah,
quarterback.
The team is
He is
at
a franchise
500.
quarterback. Right.
The team is at
Yeah,
500
facts.
right now. Rico Dowdle has
Yeah.
entered into top 30 of rushing as well, going 3 for 138. So
Bro, he
Back-to-back
got his
games.
revenge against the
back to
Cowboys.
back.
Then he had
Back-to-back
200 plus yards last year. Last week too.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he definitely did. Though Dak Prescott, though, I feel like is playing to where he's a comeback player of the year. But George Pickens, oh my goodness, 9 for
What did I
168
say?
and a touchdown.
He was bullying them
Oh,
boys
what
out
did I
there.
My,
Didn't I say
Goodness.
last episode that was my player to go off?
that is a player. Hey,
True.
impact
What could you
player.
say, bro?
Impact player.
They better pay that boy.
He's been
They,
I think they did. But the Seahawks over against Jacksonville.
7 sacks.
I called
7 sacks.
it. I called it.
And
I
D
said
line
that
was
Hey,
last
dominant.
week.
listen,
I said that last week. I said,
seven
I
Trying
what
to
did
sacks.
give
I
props
say?
to the Seahawks.
You
Bro,
said
I said as long as that D line and we as long as we can get the pass game going and that D line can get us some pressure, we won't have to worry about us getting cooked in the secondary too much. And I
No, it
called
was
it.
kind of
I
low.
called it.
It was kind of low stumpy in the first half, but they definitely turned around in that second half, man.
We
Oh
had
my goodness.
39 pressures. That is the
Hey,
most of any team in any season in the NFL history. 39 pressures
yeah,
in
all I'm
in,
saying
in
is we
seven
Damn.
had that boy on
sacks.
his back foot. We had
The
that boy
only
on his back foot.
the only team that had more than 7 sacks was the Broncos, and they had nine. They had two more sacks than us,
That's the
and we
two.
put up
That's the
and
best.
we put up
That's the two top
Wait, hold
defenses.
on. 7 sacks, what, in one game?
yes.
yeah, 7 sacks one game. Yeah,
I
yeah,
could have
one
sworn
game.
we had 11 against, we had 11 against Daniel Jones back in what, like 2, 3 years ago on that Monday
Yeah,
night game.
against the
Whenever Spoon took that,
that was
Oh yeah,
that was a fun game. I remember watching that. But Trevor
yeah,
Lawrence though,
I
Trevor
yeah,
could have
Oh
Lawrence.
yeah,
sworn.
nah, we did. Yeah. We did. We put up like
yeah.
11.
That was
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, but Trevor Lawrence though 27 for 42. I think he played good. But Brian Thomas, I feel like we could stop seeing those weird TikTok edits of him. 8 for 90 and a touchdown for Brian Thomas Jr. Seattle getting the window. I
Brian
felt that that
Thomas.
was a must for Seattle. Also, they're very
My,
Yep.
quiet. They're very quiet.
mm-hmm,
One loss team. Very quiet.
two,
No one's talking about them.
Two
They only
losses.
have two losses. But the Rams
yeah.
Yeah.
beat Baltimore 17-3. There's not a
Um,
panic mode in Baltimore
I,
because like
nah.
what can you do at this
I feel
point?
like they
Like
could go
what
on a
can you
winning
say?
streak. I ain't
Yeah.
gonna lie.
It's
what?
the
I feel like
injuries.
they
The
could go on a winning
injuries.
streak.
Nah, it's the injuries. The injuries is
I
killing
mean,
Baltimore right now. And on top of the fact that the play calling isn't getting any better, so what can you
it
really do in
was
that
Yeah.
it was
situation?
I
70 and
just
3, but the deal
like
is
Right.
the game
Cooper Rush.
never felt out of reach. No matter how far it got away, the game never felt out of reach. It felt like Baltimore could always get back in it, and they always shot themselves in the foot. I
I
don't.
mean, Derrick Henry, his usual self.
Derrick Henry. No, Derrick Henry
Yeah.
played not like the Derrick Henry of the like usual. It was more of like Zay Flowers. He fumbled twice, and he had not fumbled in a regular season game in his
I
career.
mean, he had 122 rushing yards on 24 attempts.
Yeah, so
I mean,
Derrick Henry, I believe, played very very good. But the one was it just happened to be it happened to end up being Zay Flowers who ended up being the biggest one who ended up hurting everybody right now. The Indianapolis Colts though getting a good 31-27 win over the Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray was inactive, and we had to see Jacoby Brissett, and Jacoby Brissett scored more points this year. There's no panic button. There's no quarterback controversy because this is common. This is very, very common. I've
Very
seen this
common,
happen
yeah.
way too many
Mhm.
times. The
Yeah.
second they bench
yeah.
Kyler Murray, Jacoby Brissett's playing like garbage.
Mhm.
So how do we feel about this though? Like where's the
Um,
feeling coming from?
So
I feel
what?
like the Colts defense isn't as great as people may see it because a lot of their games have been close. A lot of their wins came in the close
Yeah.
games, and it's been a lot of high scoring games. So it's not as if we're thinking, oh well, they're playing the Colts. It's going to be a blowout. No, it's going to be a high scoring game 9 times out of 10 because they don't really have that great of a defense. They have a great pass rush, but not really, and they are also hurt at corner right now. So their defense isn't really up to par, which is kind of normal for what we've seen with the Colts the last 2 years. So it was kind of expected for them for it to be high scoring and close. I expected the Colts to win that game, but I also expected a high scoring game.
Hmm.
So I didn't expect Daniel Jones to throw that interception. That one interception he threw
I
was kind of like a critical moment.
I don't think anybody expected that.
Yeah, but the good thing is he made up for it by making sure that he put his team. I think three out of the four scores they had was in the red zone. So
Was
he
in the
put
red
his
zone, correct?
he made sure that he got downfield. Made sure I think he was averaging over 9 per pass.
7.1, 7 points, still very
Yeah,
very high.
Yeah.
okay, seven
Still
point one.
very very
So
high.
yeah, very high. So he was definitely getting downfield. O line was definitely holding up. Jonathan Taylor,
Jonathan
another good
Taylor,
game.
21 for 123 and a
Offensive player of
touchdown.
the year candidate.
123. Yep.
Offensive player of the year, leading the league in rushing
Offensive
by
player.
over
Yeah.
100 yards. Closest player is Javonte
Damn.
Williams at 443. The
Is he
biggest one
running
is
back one right now?
what? He's running back one, yeah,
I
in the
said, is
league in
he running?
rushing.
Yeah,
In
that's
the
him.
league right now throughout 6 games, averaging over 600 yards, averaging over
Yeah.
100 yards per game. But Tyler Warren,
Mhm.
6'4", 63 and a touchdown. I feel like Tyler Warren could be a quiet offensive rookie of the year. Very, very
Nobody
quiet.
talks about him.
Nobody
Nobody
talks about him.
talks
He could
about
be
that
very,
man.
very quiet. We had seen Brock Bowers come in as a candidate last year. Well, the thing is, Warren's doing twice as what Bowers was doing, and he's not
Yeah,
getting talked about.
I can see Tyler Warren actually doing a little bit more. I think their offense is based on him and is based on. I think their
Mhm.
offense is ran through them three alone: Tyler Warren, Daniel Jones, of course, the QB, and Jonathan Taylor. Because Jonathan Taylor is good in the run and the pass. You can use him either way.
Mhm.
And on top of the fact that you have Tyler Warren that can not only block, but he's one hell of a route runner.
One
Like if you
hell
look
of
at
a
his
route
film
runner.
and see how pure those routes are ran, he knows how to
What?
move. He's a mover.
100%.
For him to be 6'5" and 250, he's a mover. He's
100%.
Mhm.
fast.
But I don't just don't think he'll have. I don't think he'll have a. I mean, I
Year's
want him to
great.
prove me
He on
wrong.
pace for 1,000 yards,
I want him to prove
bro.
me wrong, but like
I'm
I
about to
don't
say
think
he's
he'll
on pace
have a
for.
better. I don't think he'll have a better year than Brock Myers did. 'Cause Brock Myers had a what
Ben
he what
Bowers had
Mike
like
Nichols had
1,300
a
yards last year.
yeah
He
or
had
something like I
1,300
forget
years.
what it was.
Yeah,
He
he
did.
was
I
He
don't think
did.
he'll
I
He
have
mean,
a
was.
if we're talking yards, then maybe not. But if we're talking like as weaponry, like how he's being used, I think he's
Mhm.
definitely a better, in my
Oh,
opinion.
I mean, 100%
no, yeah,
because
yeah,
I'll say I'm
definitely.
talking like he's winning offensive rookie of the year because he's not
yeah
talked about. He could definitely win. Like when you go to his competition, it's Jackson Dart and Cam Ward. So I think that could be a conversation.
yeah
Yeah,
depending on how that goes
I
off
mean,
definitely.
I mean, I mean, we know Cam Ward ain't winning it. Not, nah.
yeah I don't
You.
yeah nah
I mean,
Yeah,
as good of a
he's
quarterback, as he looks, because he looks like a good quarterback. We
Looks like a
know we
great
see that he
quarterback.
has the potential. He does. He looks like one hell of a fucking quarterback. The problem is you can't sit there and give him an award for something he's not doing the way that you want him to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like Ibuka. Ibuka's doing exactly
There
what
you
you
go.
want him to do, regardless of his situation.
Ibuka.
You see what I'm saying?
Ibuka. He playing like a
Jackson Dart isn't in the best situation. He's not with the best team, but look what he's doing based on what he has. Now,
making
granted, yes,
stuff
he does
work.
have
Yeah,
Scatterbull as a running back, but at the same time, his weapons aren't as great, are in the same par as the Titans. They're no different.
Mm-hmm.
He's just
Yeah.
had he just has the ball as his offensive play caller, and their offensive play calling is a little bit different, and it fits with the way that Dart plays. Dart isn't a game manager; he's a general. He's a field general. He's what you call a field general. He understands how to maneuver in the pocket, try to
Yeah.
avoid sacks, try not to force turnovers and stuff like. He's smart. He's very smart in
And
that pocket. I will give him
it
that
yeah.
was funny because I'd watched a lot of him in college and he never did that. And I was kind of
at
like,
all.
and seeing him in the NFL doing that, I'm kind of like,
Yeah.
what the, like, where was this? I don't know.
Coaching does a lot to a man.
Coaching does a
Yeah,
lot. But
yeah.
Chargers, Dolphins,
Definitely.
this was like the America's 1 p.m. game of the week, which ended in a Chargers 29-27 win. Biggest outlier was Kalami Beadle, 18 carries for 124 yards.
24 yards. Yes,
That was a crazy one. Lad McConkey 7 for 100 and a touchdown, and of course Jay Herbo.
100 and a
Sorry,
touchdown.
Yeah,
sorry.
Quentin Johnson was out.
Out.
Madison Beer's boyfriend threw a couple touchdowns, but the one stat that hurt everybody the most is Tua Tagovailoa, 21 for 32, a
3
touchdown and 3 interceptions. It's panic
Oh my
mode. And
god.
how long do you think we have till we see Quinn Ewers or Zach Wilson get put in? That's the biggest
Um,
question.
I'd
Week
probably give it.
probably week 8 or 9.
We 8 or 9.
I,
That's
the way stuff
solid.
is going
Yeah,
right
8 or
now, I
9. That's
mean,
Week
actually
eight
solid.
or nine.
it's probably that.
The way they going, bro.
But at the same time, it's probably the coaching too, because I've been hearing that they want to get rid of that coach for a minute. So I mean, I
Dog,
don't know.
players not even
Well,
showing up to
the
player
coaching,
meetings,
the
player
coaching,
only
the coaching
meetings.
is a problem. Okay, so the coaching is a problem as far as the culture. He's
For
not
sure.
like
Yeah.
he's a horrible culture coach.
Yeah,
But as
that's
far
what
as
I'm
the play
saying. So I
calling, when you
don't.
look at their schemes and how they're set up information wise, they're
Because Devon Achane,
oh
because if the coaching's bad, your lead running back's not taking 16 carries for 2 touchdowns on 128
Not
yards.
what I'm. So what I'm
Jalen
averaging
saying is
four
Waddle's
like.
point.
So
averaging 8 yards
I'm
a
not saying that
carry.
the coaching bad is in like the scheme wise, but I mean like they don't know their identity. They haven't
There's
found
there's
it yet.
no identity at all,
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah, at
that's
all.
why
I
Nah,
Jalen
mean,
Ramsey is up out of
bro,
there.
talent is
That's what I'm
carrying
saying.
that team.
Yeah.
and it's a problem
I mean,
because the Raiders going off, and McDaniel's has been on the hot seat for a good 2 weeks, a good month, I should say.
yeah,
So that's a pretty
yeah.
bad one. But finally, our final 1 p.m. game was New England taking on the Saints. Now Spencer Rattler has been on a good run lately, but 25-19 by the New England Patriots taking the win. How do we feel about this? Because Spencer Rattler, 20 out of 26, 227,
6 for
playing
10. So
very, very
he didn't
good
play
football
bad.
all around. But is Drake May a dark horse for MVP right now? That's the biggest question.
Yeah,
I
I
would
would
go
say
ahead
so.
of
Yeah,
Definitely. I would say so.
18 for
Bro,
probably.
he's
26,
he's definitely
20,
he just beat the Bills
161 and
too.
3 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns,
Wait,
0
what was his
interceptions. 18 for
what was his stat
26.
line?
18 for 26, 161, and 3 touchdowns. Zero,
Drake
one
May.
sack. One sack.
He's probably
But
definitely dark horse MVP.
Dark
I would
horse
say
I
MVP
so.
told you my dark horse MVP is Dak.
is Dak
Um,
Prescott or Sam
Dak
Darnold.
I
Prescott.
just got Dak. Yeah, I just got yeah.
Dak Prescott
What
over
about
Sam
Baker
Darnold?
Got both
Mayfield?
of them. I got
No,
both
Over
of them.
no,
I'm
no,
Baker
just
no.
saying.
Mayfield too?
Yeah,
Baker Mayfield is not a dark
Oh,
horse. Baker
yeah,
Over
Mayfield's a mainstream
he's
yeah,
definitely
MVP.
he's top. He's top. He's definitely
yeah.
top three in MVP. He's five
yeah.
and one,
I would
and
say
he's
he's
doing it with
number one right now. I think he's number one right now. His numbers, his
Yeah,
comebacks, and everything. I would say he's the number
yeah,
one
that's
quarterback right
definitely
now.
my dark horse
And
for sure.
it's not like he's not doing this against the only team that
Horrible
he probably
teams
played
either.
that was easy for him to win was the Saints.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
the Eagles before they got hurt the way they are were okay defensively. They were getting better coming into
Yeah.
the week and they gave him problems. The only reason why they lost to Baker Mayfield is because they shot themselves. Oh no, actually no, they won that game, didn't they? They did win
yeah,
that
we
game.
won,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
We was
The
up
reason why they
31 to
almost
13,
lost,
then they came back. They almost
yeah,
came back.
because offensive coordinator decided it was the best idea to play conservative and almost shoot themselves in the fucking foot like
Yes,
they
bro.
did against the
Same,
Rams.
same
Same
fucking
day.
play calling.
Yeah.
Same shit,
But
bro.
other than that, most of his games have been comeback wins. Shit, even the Seahawks, like
Yeah,
when he played us,
he
he
got
it
four
came
comeback wins, dog. It's crazy.
the Seahawks. It just came down to who was just gonna clutch up, and it just so happened that he clutched up and we couldn't. So he's been doing very
Yeah,
well. He's been doing
yeah.
very well.
Yeah.
I'll give him that.
It's been a very very good one, but the most depressing game that I'd seen in a very long time. 20-10 win by the Las Vegas Raiders over the Tennessee Titans. Geno Smith, I don't know what's up with that. That interception that he threw was very bad. That hurt my eyes a lot. His downfall has been something that's hurt me. This was not a lot of words. I feel like this was enough to get Brian Callahan fired, and it's been about damn time.
Oh
But
man,
I feel like injuries cannot do enough. 30-19 win over for Tampa Bay Buccaneers over the 49ers. This was America's game of the week. How do we feel about this?
It was meant
um,
to. It was. It's not really to speak on that game because they didn't. You injuries can only get you but so many wins. It's not a lot of teams are able to keep up with. At least with the Lions last year, they still had complete starters, and they had one hell of
Yeah,
a offensive. They had one hell of play calling to keep them in the game. Whereas though when they don't the talent that the Lions have compared to what the 49ers have, they don't have the depth talent that they need. And losing Fred Warner, like if you watch that game, once they lost Fred Warner, you know how many
Yeah,
times they checked that middle?
so many
That's where
times.
they really was getting killed. They was getting killed in the middle because I think it was a close game. What was it before Warner got hurt? It
At
was a close game.
halftime,
It was definitely close.
it was
it
like
was a 4 point lead by the
That's what I'm saying.
Buccaneers.
So once he got hurt, yeah, once he got hurt, bro, yeah, they was attacking the middle of that field like they was trying to chase after an ice cream truck. Like they kept killing
mhm.
them in the middle, and they couldn't do nothing about that. Once you lose your star general manager on that defense, it kind of kills you off defensively as a whole. Brett Warner
Hundred percent.
was the general of that defense.
the heart
So
and
when you lose a
soul.
general, when you lose a general of that defense, it definitely is going to take a big hit, and I think that it's only going to go downhill from here defensively.
Defensively.
They can still win games. I'm not saying they can't. They can still win games, but that game definitely kind of
Um,
showed them a lot.
Hmm.
Showed us a lot that
No,
okay, yeah,
I
it
my
could be.
mean, it's gonna be pretty hard for them to win some games.
it is
Yeah,
100%.
They got
unfortunately.
one.
There's
They
not
got
really no playmakers
they
on
got
that
one of the
defense that
easiest
can
schedules, so
just.
they could probably win 5 more games.
I mean,
I
Potentially.
just don't think they would have to be in shootouts because there's nobody on that team that can really
Yeah,
just okay. Who are you counting on to stop the run, and who are you really counting on to stop the pass? They don't really have no
yeah,
playmaker.
depth
I'm
is
not saying
pretty.
they don't have nobody. They don't have no good playmakers on that defense.
Depth
Yeah,
is
It's
unfortunately.
literally destroyed. It's destroyed.
is
depth is pretty bad. I will not lie. But my biggest thing was I feel like Mac Jones has to play good enough to get a job somewhere else because
Yeah.
this game is also a reminder that this is 100% Brock Purdy's offense. Big shout out to Kendrick Bourne
Yeah,
though, 5 for
I
142.
wouldn't see. I wouldn't say it's Brock Purdy's offense because anybody can play in Kyle Shanahan's offense. You plug any quarterback in
Anybody,
there, they can
an,
play.
anybody could
facts.
have, but if Purdy played this game, it's not 30-19. It's 30-27.
I don't
It's a
know,
way
bro.
closer game. It's a
Uh,
closer game than people
I
think.
don't know,
And
bro.
as much as a
nah.
Brock
Let
Purdy
me.
hater
All
I
right.
am, I will not lie. This
Listen,
game is a lot
Bro, I
closer than
don't
people
know,
think.
bro.
listen. First of all, you can't. I hate when people say Brock Purdy is a system quarterback. How can you be a system quarterback when you've never been in another system but the system that was created for you? It
Exactly.
makes absolutely no sense.
And that
He
no,
fits the system so perfect that no other quarterback is as successful as him in that system, regardless of the weapons.
regardless of
Now,
weapons.
granted, yes, we understand that they had what's his name? Jimmy
Debo,
Garoppolo.
oh Jimmy
Jimmy
Garoppolo.
They
Garoppolo
went to the
also
Super Bowl
had
with
Jimmy
Garoppolo.
Garoppolo also had weapons. He had weapons that he could use. He had a good offensive play caller. He had good coaching. He had everything he needed surrounded, and he still some way somehow shit the bed. Brock
Yep.
Purdy losing those two Super Bowls, losing that one Super Bowl was nowhere near his fault
Nope.
at all. He played no part into that. He
No
did
part
exactly
in
what
that
he
at
was
all.
supposed to do statistically, and he made the throws that he was supposed to if you actually watch that game. As far as the system, he
I'm gonna have
is
to
the same.
rewatch.
Most of the games that they lost last year were close games when he was healthy.
Very, very
The
close.
blowout games that they lost was when he wasn't healthy. Mac Jones obviously is able to do what he can because Mac Jones was never a bad QB. He just wasn't in a good
And the
system
system,
I
as
yeah.
mean,
far as
I'll say
the
this though:
Yeah.
Patriots.
having a defensive coordinator call plays for you can really digress you. Having Matt Patricia and Joe Judge call plays for you really
Yeah,
can digress a quarterback.
yeah. And Matt
It's
Patricia
like
is
a
a
death sentence.
Horrible,
horrible offensive coordinator. He's a
horrible.
horrible play caller.
Horrible.
Everybody, did you
Bro,
see him
you
with the
see what
Lions?
happened? No, did you see him with the Eagles, bro?
At the
Bro,
defensive coordinator.
he the reason why we collect. Well,
Yep.
yeah, we collect for him.
Yeah, no,
But that's what
I
I'm saying. Brock Purdy is a top 10 quarterback, whether people hate him or not. When you
true
watch his
story.
film and you look at how he plays, okay. Now I won't say he's worth $55 million.
So if you
Definitely not.
so if he's
Personally,
not,
me,
then that means you think he's a system quarterback, bro. I'm keep it a buck.
Well, no,
And
he's
I don't
worth
want
but
to
like
say put words in your
you
mouth.
can't call him
he's
you
worth like
can't call him
40.
a system.
He's worth
Yeah,
like
I'll give him
40
40. I
million.
wouldn't
40
give him
is
50. I wouldn't give him
yeah,
50.
that's
50 is a
reasonable.
lot. I wouldn't give him 50, but I definitely give him 40. I think 50 is like nah, 40 is exactly where he needs to be. But you can't calling somebody a system quarterback is calling a quarterback that only fits in one system, but he's never played in any other system besides it. He's
So
only played in one
I'm
other system.
so
Any
this
other
is what I'm
system he's
going to
played in
say.
college.
And so this is what I'm actually going to say then. So I know he's only played in one system, but we've seen what happened with Jimmy Garoppolo once he left the 49ers.
Bad. He's been very
Trash.
bad.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but
He was a system quarterback.
Garoppolo
He
was
was
like that.
literally a system quarterback.
Well, yeah,
Garoppolo
You
but
can't
was
put Jimmy Garoppolo in
Garoppolo
no
was like
system.
that. Yeah, but Garoppolo was like that with the Patriots, though.
yeah, it's kind of
He wasn't great on the Patriots. Why do you think they traded him?
But
They
once he
said
I
he
got to
mean,
the
said he rather.
49ers, though, he got plugged into
I
that
mean, he
Kyle
wasn't getting
Shanahan
played
offense.
like that
Well,
with the
yeah, but
Patriots
that's
though.
because we know that Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan is one hell of a coach, and he's a great. I'm not going to
That's what I'm
discredit what he
saying.
does.
So
He's a great, but you can't. But if okay, so like Sam Darnold, for example, right? When Sam Darnold left, because he went there when before he came from the Jets, everybody was saying he's a shitty quarterback, right?
he was trash.
Right. When he went
He
to
was
the 49ers, he
Panthers.
learned a lot. He
Then he
learned,
go to the
yeah, he
Panthers
went to the
before them
Panthers.
though.
He went to the Panthers and then he got cut. He wasn't playing so well on the
Him
Panthers when
and
he
Baker
started.
Mayfield was over there.
He got cut and then
yep.
he went to the 49ers. He learned whatever he learned from the 49ers and went off against the Vikings. But we know that with the Vikings, Coach O'Connell was also a QB guru. Now,
Yep.
all of that coaching that he learned, he's bringing it to Seattle. And the questions were what? Is he going to be the same quarterback after coming from that system? Because, like we've seen Garoppolo, not a lot of QBs are good after leaving that system. Is
But
is
I
or
didn't
is not
really.
Sam Darnold top 5 in MVP
Yeah,
Top
talks right
five
You
now?
said
passing
top
quarterback
five.
they
right
were.
now. Top
Yeah, because
five
they were so
passing
worried about
quarterback
He's
right now.
quarterback.
Bro,
Top five passing quarterback
he's
right
number
now.
3 in passes. He's number 1 in completion percentage. He's number 1 in QBR rating. He's number 2 in QB what you call it?
QB rating.
QB
QBR.
rating. Yeah,
QBR.
QBR, not QB rating, but QBR. He's number 1 in pass completions over 10 yards, and he's top 5 in air raid yards
I mean,
with a completion percentage of
based off those
56.
numbers, based
You see what
off
I'm saying?
those numbers,
So,
he's definitely top five. Yeah,
but that's what I'm
he's
saying.
definitely top five.
He not only is he under a different system, but he's being more than just what we thought he was going to be. Right? When our
Sure.
mindset when Sam Darnold came to the Seahawks was all we need him to do is not fuck up.
replicate what he did
Just
and
don't
Vikings.
replicate what
Yeah,
he did and don't fuck up. He's
yeah.
doing more than just
He's
not
just not.
fucking up.
Yeah,
But I
he's
got a
taking care
question
of the
for you.
ball.
Do y'all
What's the
think he
question?
gonna play like this in the playoffs though?
Yeah.
So that's my
Yep.
only thing.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
You
100%. I
think
think he is.
wait, you
I
think he
think
gonna
he
play like
is.
this in the playoffs?
Yes.
So
Why
I don't
wouldn't
know.
he?
After
long as
that,
they can.
after that game against the Rams last year, I don't know, bro.
Did
That
you
was
see what he was
last
doing
year.
against?
That was last year. That was his first
I
playoff
don't,
game. That was his first playoff game.
I
His
don't
first
think he's
playoff
gonna do
start.
it.
His first
I'm
play.
sorry.
First career
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
playoff
about
think
to
game.
say I don't
I,
understand why people keep
I don't
saying
think
that, bro.
so.
Sam Darnold, that was his first ever playoff game. What was y'all expecting him to do? Be great. That was his first. Not every QB is
I
going to be
mean, if
on
you was
par.
playing great in the regular season, bro, I would expect you to play great in the playoffs as well, right?
Look at Dak
Would you not
Prescott.
Look at
expect?
Dak Prescott. Exactly. Look at Dak Prescott. Look at
Dak
Jalen
Yeah,
Hurts.
bro,
Prescott is
you've
one of
been
the best
choking.
QBs in the
You've been
league.
choking in the
Jalen Hurts.
playoffs. You've been choking in the playoffs for close to
Look
10
at
years now.
Look at Jalen Hurts. Jalen
His
Hurts isn't
first
the
career
most
playoff
accurate
game.
quarterback in the playoffs. His first playoff games was trash. He played hard. He got blown out by
I
the 40
mean,
by the
I mean his
Bucks.
I mean his first year, he had Jalen Rigger and Devontae Smith.
It
Come
don't
on,
matter.
He
At
did
the end
not
of the
have
day,
and
Jalen
bro,
Quez
Rigger.
Watkins.
He did
So
he
not
didn't
have
like
have
Jalen
Jalen
Rigger.
Rigger.
he
He
did
did
he
not
did
have
have
Jalen
Jalen
Rigger.
Rigger in 2021. Bro, he did. Check
He
the
also had
roster in
Dallas Goddard,
2021.
bro. He also had Dallas Goddard and Zach Ertz.
Yo,
Yo,
he had
I'm about to
Miles
say, and
Sanders,
y'all
bro.
had
He
a
was trash,
Miles
bro.
Sanders was so
Miles
good.
Sanders was not
What are
good,
you
bro.
on,
what?
He
bro?
was good
I'm a
because
Miles
of Jalen
Sanders
Hurts.
glazer, bro.
Bro,
Wait,
Miles Sanders had
Calvin,
1,200
Calvin, Calvin,
yards.
Calvin, Calvin, Calvin. Very important question.
Bro,
Where do you
before that
think
year, he had 790 some yards.
Calvin? Where do you think Lamar Jackson ranks in quarterbacks while healthy?
He definitely top two. Well, top three.
Top three. Okay, I will give you that one. Okay, he is top three.
Out there? Okay.
That's
Why?
clear.
Why you ask me that?
No, because you're speaking like an Eagles fan, and I was like, hold up, let me
I
dial
mean,
down.
I am
let me
an
dial
Eagles
down.
fan.
We are
He is
Eagles
a,
fans.
you know,
You
he
a
gonna back
Commanders
up.
fan, right?
Yeah,
Of
no,
course, bro. Of
100%
course.
Commanders fan.
He's
I got
gonna,
to.
Okay,
I got
well,
he
to,
gonna,
bro.
he gonna.
before we get like way too off track, since he took on Green Bay,
My fault.
since he took on Green Bay, 27-18, Joe Flacco
Yes.
nearly beat this team twice. It was very much looking like
Yeah,
that. Very
bro. I
much
was
looking like
hoping he would
that.
beat them. I was hoping he would beat them.
I think America was hoping that too. 29 for 45, 219, 2 touchdowns. His longest pass was 19 yards, but he was sacked only once. Chase Brown kind of looks kind of bad, but Jamar Chase, you're like the fantasy football people, okay? You can stop with these weird AI edits, all right? 10 for 94 and a touchdown, all right? We've had enough. Jordan Love though, I feel like Jordan Love is not talked about more. He could be in the MVP conversation by week 10. 19 for 26, 259 and a touchdown. Also interception, but Josh Jacobs, I mean, he's always going to be good. 18 out of 93, 2 touchdowns.
Yes, I think he could probably be I say MVP, Offensive Player of the Year
Offensive player of
candidate
the
too.
year.
Also,
100%.
yes.
And then
He'll
Sunday
be
night
up there,
game.
but he probably won't win it. I ain't gonna lie.
Another Sunday night
probably
game.
won't win
Taylor Swift's boyfriend, Kansas City Chiefs, took on the Detroit Lions. This game was very disappointing. This game was a very, very disappointing Sunday night game. It was
very disappointing.
it was not what I thought it'd be. It ended pretty badly. What are some key takeaways?
Yeah, for the
this game?
Lions.
What I could say is it's all over. It was all over the place.
Don't sleep
Just
on
keep it a
Patrick
buck or
Mahomes.
two. And no,
That's all I'm gonna
definitely
say.
don't. Yeah, definitely don't sleep on Patrick
Don't
Mahomes.
sleep
He
on the
definitely
Chiefs,
did.
bro.
He definitely did
sleep
what
on
he was
it.
supposed to do. But this game was just all over the place, kind of. I mean, not too many. I mean, Patrick Mahomes definitely did pass everybody the ball, but not how I wanted him to. I think they got to get Xavier Worthy more involved in the offense because that's one thing I think they're missing out on.
It's
Like
gonna
his
get
speed, I mean, could take the top off a defense, but I want to see him, pass the ball and involve him more in the offense a little bit
no.
more because I think they can definitely use him as a good weapon for sure.
No, 100%. But it's going to be a lot harder because Rasheed Rice's suspension is now over.
Rasheed Rice is coming
when
back.
you're talking
Yes.
about speed, I was
Yeah.
like, speaking about speed, Rasheed Rice's suspension is now over. So it's going to be some pretty big ones. But the thing is, Detroit's not using David Montgomery enough. That 1-2 punch between Montgomery and Gibbs is not there. You cannot give him 4 carries. Yeah, he's going to average 6 yards per carry.
Sure, yeah.
But that's simply not going to work. What are some other What are some other key takeaways we had from week 6? What are some big headlines we should more focus on?
I like Jared
JSN,
Goff,
offensive
bro.
player.
Yeah,
JSN, offensive player of the year.
Yeah,
He's on pace to get 1,900 yards. He's number 1 currently in receiving yards.
He's
The
actually on pace
Rams.
to break the record. He's on pace for 1972.
Yep. The Rams. You can clearly see that they are too reliant heavy on Puka, and now Puka's going to be out maybe a game. So now they need to learn how to not to win games without him and not use him. What surprises me is the fact that they have Devontae Adams and he's not as efficient as I would thought he would be. That's a surprising one.
And the thing was, he was way more efficient than people thought he would be the first 3 weeks. That was the other thing. Like the first 3 weeks, he was very efficient.
Yeah,
He was
that's true.
very, very well.
Yeah,
And, that's come as
I think it's because that Nakua is going off the way he is. I think they're just forcing him the ball now. I could be wrong.
No, it really
see,
looks like
but
that.
no,
really looks like that though.
yes.
Yeah,
The
it
only
does.
reason
It
why
looks
I
like
don't want to say you're wrong is because Matthew Stafford is known to force the ball to his best receiver. I mean, you've seen what he's done with
I mean,
Calvin Johnson. You
Yeah.
see what he did
Yeah,
with Cooper Cup. I mean, what do you think he's going to do with
right.
Puka Nacua? He's going to force the ball to his
Force
best
feed him.
receiver every single
I was gonna
time.
say.
You see, that's
Yeah.
why
Speaking
Nacua was
about
leading with
Cooper
the
Cup
receiving
though. Speaking about Cooper
receptions.
Cup though. Speaking about Cooper Cup, he looked pretty good this Sunday. I will not lie. Cooper Cup, that one touchdown that he
He's
had.
starting to get his he's starting
He's trying to get his groove back. Yes, he's trying to get his
to get his
little
groove
groove
back.
back.
You can tell.
Cooper Cup looked very, 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 very
I do want to
polished.
see him more involved in the offense, but I see they're leaning more JSN heavy because nobody can guard JSN. JSN night in, night out.
Night in, night out.
I
It's
And
mean,
Cooper,
crazy
come on.
because 5 out of the 6 games he's been double teamed 70% of the time, and within those 70% time he's been targeted 10 times and only averaged. He's averaging 7 receptions a game. That's 3 less than Puka, and he's averaging 90 to quote from 85 to 95 yards per game.
Per game.
That's
Yep.
100 less. That's literally 100 less than Nakua, and right now he's leading the league based off this 163-yard game and
And in his
touchdown.
first
100%.
5 games, he has 696, if I'm not mistaken,
Yep,
which
broke
is
the
like
franchise
Yeah,
record.
fourth. Yeah,
yep.
broke the franchise record, and I think it's the fourth or fifth most, or in NFL history, I believe, in the first
Yep,
5 games.
yep.
So he's
Okay.
definitely on a good tier. I'm
Okay.
hoping he does win Offensive Player of the Year.
All right. Now the final question I have is: are the Eagles on panic mode now after losing to the
Yes,
Giants? Are they on
Definitely.
panic mode? In panic
yes,
We
mode
def-
now. We
I
got
mean,
Eagles fans
paying
here.
for
All
I
right.
mean,
this. Yes.
I would
Cal,
say
what you
yeah.
got to
The
say?
play
Because I want to
calling
hear your
is,
opinion before I start talking my shit. Go ahead.
bro. I would say yeah. The play calling is terrible. The
Uh
running
huh.
game, I don't know what happened. I don't know what the hell happened to the running game.
Uh
The
huh.
O line not as good as last year,
Uh huh.
and then the connection between AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts. Like, bro, he keep throwing too many overthrown balls. Like
Yeah. So
the ball
and
placement off this year.
oh, it's off this year.
The
Oh
defense,
no,
the
no.
defense, the defense, the defense.
The defense
Bro,
what?
I don't
What's
even
with
know
the
what to
defense?
say. I don't even know
Yep.
what to say, bro.
Anyways, so
My
that'll wrap
team
it
is
up. That'll
disappointing
wrap
this
it
year.
up for our Week 6 breakdown. The next few days, we may have our
Disappointing.
Monday night breakdowns where we talk a little Monday Night Football
Yes.
preview into
Yeah.
Week 7. We have some good ones. I'm very excited for our Thursday night matchup that we have coming up.
Yep. Pittsburgh and
So
Cincinnati.
Yeah.
so we'll 100% get going over there. But that'll wrap it up. Raphael here, Quill, Keyshawn, and the new guy
Calvin.
Calvin Odom. So other than that,
Now.
everybody take care, and we'll see you.